Looks like there might be some issues here. Give me a second. Yeah, that was weird. OBS was saying there was a bunch of dropped frames. Looks like it is still really bad today. I don't know what's going on. But yeah, how's everyone doing? Let's see, who do we have in chat so far? Captain K. Tanner, Joan Sage, how's it going? And before I started, I see Marker Chief, Mia, Chris, Tim, Telbeck, Enraged Postman. Yeah, I'm looking at my OBS and it was saying that there was a bunch of issues there. Is the microphone picking up any background noise for you guys? Because I do have quite a few fans on today. Blast, how's it going? Not that you hear? Good. Good. I'm going to put the announcement out in the Discord that I'm live. There it is. Archmagos, how's it going? You can't hear any kids either? Well, they're not here right now. They're out. Willow's dad is here for like a visitation, so they just went out to go to some garage sales nearby. Okay, so format's a little bit different here for the stream. As you can see, I've been playing around with the stuff you see at the bottom left to show what keys I'm hitting. And I figured it'd be neat to just see how it goes for a stream as well. I know it doesn't make much sense without seeing my keybinds, which are a little bit chaotic, but I'm probably going to drop an updated keybind video soon to help make sense of it all. Endeavor, how's it going? Yes. Endeavor, thank you for using this yourself, because it pointed me towards looking into it, and I found one, was able to customize it a bit to my setup, and it's been doing good. Ken, Geekster, Warpcore. So right now I am in the Trafalgar, and I have a pulse phaser fire at will setup on it. This is a very immersive setup. I was going in doing some pugs last night to try out the wild critical trait that this ship comes with. I can't say I'm that impressed. Basically, this thing is taking up like 20% of the threat gen for me, but I still have to run survivability items because it's not taking enough threat where I can safely drop some of the survivability stuff I have on. That's a random friendship over there. Such a good looking ship. Trafalgar. Sounds like an end table from IKEA. Look, Endeavor, I am here to mispronounce every word put in front of me, okay? I'm sorry. Hopefully the random dropouts on the bitrate slow down, because I've already lowered the bitrate on YouTube down to like 12 meg. Normally it's at 20. Okay, let me start the parser up. You won't believe this, but one of my friends pronounces Sagan just like you do. Awesome, I'm not alone. On the fence between this ship and the Heavy Command Connie. Are you talking about the Kelvin Constitution Heavy Command? You know, truthfully, with the Kelvin Connie, if that's a ship you're interested in, I'd really just recommend you go for it via the Kelvin Muds bundle, because that way you're getting it on account-wide unlock right through that bundle. And you're also getting the Talaru, the D4X, and those do have a console set, so I mean, for what the cost is of a lockbox ship, I mean, you're typically spending what more than what one of these Muds bundles costs to get a lockbox ship for a single character. I would just go for the Muds bundle instead. Just save for it. Michael, thank you for the casual membership. Greatly appreciate it. Um, the Trafalgar, it's really hard to give an assessment right now on the Trafalgar. Like, the ship itself is just a slightly upgraded version of the Shangri-La warship from the Zen store. Like, it's not a bad ship. It's just it's right now it's not doing enough to really justify its price point. The trait on it, I think, needs to be tweaked a little bit to just be a bit more effective. Like, let it spawn a pet every 5 seconds and let it spawn up to 10 of them. Um, the console off the ship, you know, they've already said they're going to be tuning that, so I can't tell you what that console is going to end up like because I don't know right now. Not the Connie 2. Ack, is there a roadmap yet? I mean, there's new content incoming in like a month, Ack, so like there is, you know, new story content, a new TFO. Um, like we know stuff is incoming. For those of us with Lobby to burn, what ships would I recommend? The Vengeance is like the best ship in the Lobby store for actually flying around and actually playing the game with. Beyond that, it's basically for accessories or themes. So, you know, the Zindia Adalith is still popular for the Beam Overload trait. The Zal is somewhat popular in like the PvP crowd for the Invincible trait. Um, what else is there? The Ectomi, I guess, is still popular for the improved Photonic Officer trait. Like, yeah, Stasis, I agree. In fact, I'm gonna do a follow-up video. Let me see if I can pull GIMP up here. I'm gonna do a follow-up video going over the ships here. I meant to record this last night, but just timing didn't work out. Just giving like a week one assessment of these two ships because I mean they're both fine. It's just that Trafalgar right now isn't really worth what it cost. Um, like I want to go through and just talk about the accessories and all that, and just yeah, it's a bit of disappointment and also a bit of shock with the Voth ship that they were trying to design it to be like this really tanky ship, and it's like I heard them say that on the stream that the idea with the Voth Stronghold was for it to be like a really tanky defensive platform. And I'm just sitting here looking at its bridge officer layout, and I'm thinking they don't know what a tank is right now. So I'll talk about that more in that video. And I am glad to tease that there is another meta update video incoming sometime soon. Captain Wallace, how's it going? You waited for the Spencer effect on launch day. People were selling them for 1.2 billion after your live stream. Nice. What kind of Iowan has a stow stream in the middle of a Cyclones hockey? I'd look. I don't really do the sports stuff. That just isn't what I do. the meta update's more fire at will focused. So the meta update is a combination of me addressing some of the recent stuff that has significantly boosted up fire at will and especially broadsiding, and it's also going to be addressing the fire at will trait issue and omni beam restrictions. That is what that meta update video is going to talk about. I have thoughts on like the omni beam stuff and all that. Sora, you're fine. I just started. I was 30 minutes late myself. Will the meta vid be before or after crate? Probably before. The crate build guide I know is super far behind. Ultimately, the crate build guide is the mere angle build that I posted last December, just with the 4 isomags swapped out for other universal consoles. That build guide though is more of just showing how to do that and basically apply it to any ship in the game. Yeah, Eric, I'm hoping we see the coupon selection updated with the upcoming seasonal release. So I would just hold on to your event campaign coupons until the new season drops to see if anything changes. It's 50 out too. Glorious fat guy weather. I know. It's 61 here right now, according to my phone. And yeah, I've got the windows open, fans on. It's great. Your fantasy team is going to get destroyed this weekend. Terrible. 87 there. Terrible. Yeah, a console slot is not worth it for bridge officer cooldown reduction. So that was something else I was going to comment on before I got sidetracked before. Going through and testing the console off the Trafalgar made me realize that I don't actually even need Boimler on my fire at will or CSV setups, because I've already got so much passive cooldown reduction from the Ilios console, Endeavors, stuff like that, and then, you know, I've got the Ruin of Our Enemies on, which for every 5 kills I get is giving me some, you know, some cooldown reduction for bridge officer abilities. Like, I've been going in and just running without Boimler the past week. Like, I don't think that's something everyone can do. For most people, I would still recommend Boimler. But for those of you on very high performance area of effect builds, you know, pushing 1 million plus DPS, CSV, fire at will, I think you can start to explore potentially not running Boimler. Captain Wallace, I think in general, the systems team, based on comments from Bordicus in the Discord, they're aware that there's some things that I guess I'd say they're a little bit out of touch with, where, you know, they're adding the current meta. Like with bridge officer cooldown reduction, they are now very well aware that they shouldn't really focus too much more on adding more bridge officer cooldown reduction stuff in, because it's so well covered with what's already in the game. They're a little bit behind in some areas, but they're wanting to catch up. So, you know, I think the Discord is giving them a route to really engage a bit more and just give them time to you know, get things sorted out there. Yeah. 1.6 whole mod is pretty high. Yeah. You still haven't opened the coupon from last year's campaign. What is a good critical severity level? Jason, this is an answer that I know you and a bunch of other people are not going to like. Unless someone asks me what my critical levels are at, I don't pay attention to them. So that's what my number is right now, is crit chance 44.3%, crit severity 190. Like, you know, I've got a bunch of other stuff on my build that's helping buff up my crit chance, my severity. I don't really read too much into just the raw numbers here. You know, obviously higher is better. I think you do want to have a base crit chance, you know, somewhere in like the 40 to 50% range. Crit severity, you know, as high of a number as you can get there is, you know, generally good, but I'm not going to drop some of the other stuff I have here to go in and buff those numbers up on the base stats window there. Bug Cool, how's it going? Yeah, Geekster, that'd be cool. Okay, I'm gonna do a TFO here, so let me see. My endeavors, harvest material space, phaser damage ground, plasma damage space. Okay, that's easy enough. So I'm gonna do the fun TFO first. Let's do an infected the conduit elite public queue and see how it goes. I'm gonna be bringing in the Trafalgar, and Sora, I appreciate that. And there's a test request here. Eclepius engine plus Kita's 2-piece set. Oh boy. Mary, you want to take a look at that one? Made DMT in Discord. Andy, how's it going? We have a KDF recruit starting up again, likely to gauge player engagement, but rip to those that wanted to gamma for the best off in the game. Yeah. Kyle, how's it going? I mean, the Trafalgar's fine. I wouldn't go out of my way to pick the ship up right now. I would say just wait to see what they do with the accessories. Like there's nothing about this ship that makes it like something that you need to run out and pick up right now. Like it's a good ship, but it's not that much better than the Zen Store Shangri-La. It's basically just a Shangri-La that can run a grav well. Like that's what you're spending $150 on. Is that worth it to you? There we go. Have I ever done an episode rating all the ships? No, I have not. But like I will be talking about like some of the worst T6 ships in the future. Yeah, I mean this, you know, $150 basically for this ship, 100 to 150 depending on how you go for it. Potentially more if you gamble. Um, yeah, just like the ship is fine, but it's not doing anything like unique right now. The the console from it, that's really going to be the determining factor, and we have to wait and see what they end up doing. How cheap on the exchange for the Excelsior? I don't know. Let me hop out of here and I'll take a look just a second here, see what this message is. Thank you, Merritt. Okay. Would have easily gotten it if it was C-Store, but it's not worth a premium pick. Yeah. They wanted this, like, it really, it still is crazy to me that they wanted this to have, like, the same impact as the original Atlas. It's like a few tweaks here and there, but we'll see. We'll see what happens if they're able to fulfill that goal with the upcoming adjustments to it. Are the Kith accessories worth using? Um, I do play around with the Kith console occasionally. The Chronoton Flicker. It's a decent little console. I think I've got it right here. Yeah, Chronoton Flicker. I mean, passive on it's 10% cooldown reduction, so like the console clicky can do a good bit of damage, and it's some more cooldown reduction to help you if you're wanting to drop Boimler. Um, and it's only got a 1 minute recharge. Like it's a good console. The trade off the Kith, it's fine, but it requires you to do the cloak decloak spam, and I really don't like that because in STO you will frequently, due to server issues, end up stuck in cloak. Yes, Phil, any records with Hellbore would be wiped when there's further changes done to Hellbore. Um, I know people want, or there's quite a few people that want Hellbore to remain as good as it is, but that is a trait that is simply just too powerful right now. Do I think Deca would fix the event campaign tier 6 coupon thingy, the restrictions? They've talked about it, so if you have them and you want to just wait, I would just toss them in the bank to see if they change anything. Sora, the thing is, we on these high end builds, we basically have enough cooldown reduction now where we can almost drop Boimler. Like Bridge Officer cooldown reduction is just not really the approach they need to be going for. And as Mara has pointed out, it doesn't, the way they have it right now is it's like an instant cooldown reduction upon hitting the console. And that really is just not great. It needs to be a cooldown reduction over time like Photonic Officer or Tactical Initiative. Yes, thank you, boy. I realize that. The Obina is 1.25, and I don't believe the Obina console's been fixed yet, which is really disappointing. The Excelsior 2, let's see. There's no Excelsior 2s on the market because there's not enough supply of shitboxes right now. But yeah, that's Excelsior's expensive. The Excelsior 2 wasn't showing up. Someone was asking, Robert here was asking about it. Yeah, there's no Excelsior 2s on the market to give you a price right there, so 1.5 bill would be the safe bet. Myth, how's it going? Do I think maxing out cooldown endeavors will eventually let you drop Boimler? Doing that alongside running the Ilios console, again, the Ilios console, custom power matrix, when you have any of those modes active, it's 20% recharge speed for bridge officer abilities, so that plus your endeavors is 30%. You put Crenum, or not Crenum, what is it? I don't know why I said Crenum Chronophage. Chronocapacitor. You put that rep trade on and like just get some cooldown reduction from your skill tree. I mean, right there, you're basically at the point where you'd be fine. Mara called you a coward for using photonic officer on your Trafalgar. Yeah, that is terrible. Plonk. That's I mean, obviously Plonk. It would probably be similar to what they do now, but I think I would have a few more people working on fixing older stuff rather than, you know, just constantly focusing on the new next thing. Yan, I really don't remember. Nice, Sora. Yeah, the Corolla is really good. Like, let's see, what did the Corolla accessories do there? So I'm on a fire at will pulse phaser setup. The broadside beam support trait from the Corolla did 230k DPS. The full broadside console from the Corolla did 224k. Yeah, that ship is just like a must-have for fire at will. Also, the Lance, yeah, the Lance off this ship did 6.2 million. I saw a post on Reddit the other day that was going on about how Lances suck, and that really is true. Like, for the cooldown these things have and for how hard they hit, it just isn't really that much. Like, I would rather have had an experimental weapon or a hangar bay slot on this ship. Marker Chief, indeed. Okay, let's do Hive Onslaught Elite, public queue. Well, the bridge officer layout on the original is just really quite bad, so this one having a much better bridge officer layout does beat out the loss of the hangar bay. Okay, here we go. Also, I'd be curious to hear, is the keybind stuff too distracting at the bottom left? Like, just seeing what keys I'm hitting? I know without understanding my keybinds, it's not a ton of context. It's just something I wanted to try out.
Your efforts are futile. Destroy this vessel.
Go faster, ship. Embargo, yeah.
Your efforts are futile. Destroy this vessel, and I will claim another.
There we go. Thought you were on console? No.
I am eternal. This
So that is fed only, and that is the Doomsday mission. It's in like the first story arc. How's it going? It's been a terrible day so far, but
I admire your
thankfully nothing lost. My sister was working on cleaning out the garage here last night because we've been using it for storage, and my sister in all of her greatness, she didn't bother to close the door to the garage upon leaving last night, so it just sat open all night. Thankfully, nothing, was taken, surprisingly, but yeah, that and the fact that she also, when she was up here, she didn't bother to close one of the freezers, and I didn't find out, for like 4 hours that she didn't bother to close the freezer door. Just that was wonderful. At least we now know why he's always buying keyboards. Terrible. Thankfully, like, the door wasn't fully open. Um, so there wasn't like too much loss. Like, it caught it fast enough that most stuff hadn't started to really defrost yet. Just a bit aggravating. I'm not sure why, but I always thought you lived on a farm. I mean, 20 years ago, this part of Des Moines was probably a farm. What keyboard and mouse am I using these days? I'm still using, for the keyboard, it's still QWERTY Keys QK100, but I have one of their Hex 80s pre-ordered that's supposed to ship out like late this month, and that's a Hall effect board. For the mouse, I currently am using the Endgame Gear XM2W 4K V2. That's a lot of letters and numbers, I know. No Spencer Cam today. Sad times, horrible, just horrible. Um, yeah, I mean, that's just a matter of me waking up at 11:30 because I was up too late last night, and um, yeah, things just being a bit chaotic this morning. Did I lose my supply of Costco orange chicken? No, thankfully not. Okay, we have to do another TFO now. How about I swap over to the Voth Stronghold, the free ship? I I know I need to do more over on console. I also know I need to do more with the free to play, um, story mission playthrough. The issue that I'm having on console is that I'm truthfully just having a that was a really loud car. I'm just having a really miserable experience trying to play over there. As someone that is used to the way that the PC version of the game is, it's like most things I'm finding are just miserable to do over there, and doing that on stream, like, some of you enjoy it, but there's console players that are coming to my like console streams, and they're giving me feedback that they're tired of hearing me just constantly be like super negative about my experiences over there. um and I think saving some of that feedback for a more constructive uh video where it's scripted and not me just rambling as I'm experiencing this stuff, I think that would be better, to go over some of the issues there. um it is like, I just haven't enjoyed it. If you told me that the only way I could continue playing STO was to play it on console, I would quit the game. Like that's my thoughts on the console version of the game. People like it. Um, and if you like it, that's fine. But for me as like an in-game player that understands the game decently well, it's a miserable experience for me. Like everywhere I go. Playing on console after growing up on PC is like going back in time to a period before electricity. It sucks. Yeah. I'm glad it's an option for people. I'm glad that there's a ton of people that enjoy it. I am just having just every time I tried to do stuff over there, and I haven't for like the last week or so because I've just had too much going on IRL for me to spend time over there. It's just it's miserable. The UI they need to allow people to use like keyboard and mouse in the PC interface over there, and there's no reason they shouldn't be able to. The hardware should be able to support that, I would imagine. Um, it just it's such a restricted version of the game that receives like less it receives less attention from the devs. Like I just yeah. Do I or can you PvP on console? Yeah, you can PvP on console. There's people that apparently do it. Um, but I know that there was, for instance, a lot of the Xbox PvPers a couple years ago. That they just, from what I understand, came to the realization of like if they wanted to actually keep going, they need to just make the move over to console. Um, Achilles, you were I don't know if Achilles is here right now, but I think Achilles was like part of that group where like there's just the realization of like if they wanted to really progress further and um just plan for the long term, that moving to the PC version was the best move for them, and they did. Yeah, Elite. I have heard. I've seen you say that in a bunch of recent streams, and I need to get some like more playtime over there to get some more footage of that sort of stuff. Yeah. I'm gonna I'm gonna keep doing the console stuff. Don't worry. Like I committed to doing it. It's just definitely need to be in a certain mindset for it. Okay, let's do a cure found elite. I'm gonna take in the Voth Stronghold, the current event ship. I've got a plasma CSV set up on it. Really, this is just a really offensive ship. I know that they said it was designed to be defensive, but the stats that they gave it don't really line up with what they're saying. So it's a good offensive platform. Defensive wise, I mean, it's got a high hull capacity, but aside from that, like to me, if a ship doesn't have command, it's not like a serious tank platform because suppression barrage is just so impactful. So the way that they set this ship up just doesn't make sense with what they were saying. Spencer, tell Nick to make a tank build on it. Nick is unfortunately having some very serious issues right now. Um, yeah, it's not like personal issues. His Intel computers finally hit the level of degradation where he can't really do anything without having crashes. Because Nick has like a 14900 KF or something, and he's been having issues with it for a while, and now it's to the point where like it's crashing for him like mid raid and stuff, and he's been very unhappy about it. He's ordered an AMD system, but the company he bought it from hasn't shipped it out yet. Just realized Iowa's playing Iowa State. Is that like golf? Okay, I just saw a little bit of cooldown reduction issues right there. I should have had Boimler on. Yeah, so like depending on the content, I still need Boimler. Like it seems in situations where there's not enough targets for me to kill. So dropping Boimler is probably a little bit premature right now. Is EPG even doing damage these days? So here's the thing with EPG. EPG builds are very similar to like the meta Uncon Voven setups. The issue is you're just using a weaker set of consoles, and you're not focusing on weapon damage, you're focused on the ability damage. So you're using a different set of consoles compared to like the meta setups, and those consoles generally do a little bit less damage. And you're also focusing on like your Gravwell and like your SecDef procs, you know, to try and get some damage alongside the consoles. It just ends up, it's still effective, still very, very effective. It just ends up being a weaker version of the current meta builds. Like you can still do it. It's just you just have to understand that it's basically the meta setup just with weaker consoles. Z, they wanted to shake it up, and that's what they're doing. Yeah, so 12th gen Intel is still fine. I'm on what is effectively 15th gen on my secondary computer, and it works perfectly fine. My Core Ultra 265K setup, that's been perfectly fine. Yeah, I mean, as soon as AMD dropped like the X3D chips, that's when Intel was really starting to be in trouble. And then Intel had the degradation issues where some of the CPUs were starting to fail over time with 13th and 14th gen. Um, and that just really hurt. Z, I don't know. Tell us about Nick's. Nick has a 9800X3D incoming along with, I believe, a 5070 Ti. The trades for EPG are also some journey to get hands on. Yeah, I mean it's true for any like specific setup. Uh, Dylan, at this time, there's no route to transfer an account. That is something I really do hope we see in the future, though. Yeah, and especially like if you're playing older games like Stowe, you know that older hardware still handles it fine. I might have a picture of what exactly Nick ordered. Just give me a moment here. Let me see if I can find it. Jazz, if you don't have the Corolla, the Corolla is like a really, really good ship to go for. The Corolla Temporal Battlecruiser. if you like to do beams with like fire at will or beam overload, the trait and console from that are best in slot for that playstyle. Broadside beam support. Yeah, broadside beam support is going to do substantially more than calculated broadside. Okay, where's this picture? Nicholas. Here we go. This is what Nick is getting. So he's got a 9800X 3D B650 motherboard, 64 gigs of CL30 6000 megahertz RAM, a 5070 Ti. He's already got an SSD, so he's just got the bare minimum that they offered. And he's going to install his own OS. And yeah, nothing else, really that crazy. Antec C8 case with a bunch of fans. The Gorn Hunter between those two is going to have much more impact, especially if you want to do a plasma setup like the Gorn Hunter. Those accessories are crazy. Top CPU on lowest motherboard, it's fine. Like that, the B650 boards, those still do perfectly fine. Like you only need the X870 or X670 style boards. Like if you're looking for the extra features. Well, Nick is getting this primarily for Star Citizen, so that's his thing. Phil, I haven't used that trait in ages. So I unfortunately don't have an answer there. It's terrible. Another decade of demanding tort builds from Spencer. Eventually I'll try tort builds again. It's just not really in the mood for it right now. Yeah, 5070 Ti is enough for Star Citizen. It should be. Okay. So let's do... We got an infected in a minute here, so I'll just wait for that cooldown. You're not finding an interaction, okay. Do I think they'll nerf Hellboard very heavily? I really don't know what they're gonna do. We'll probably find out in the next week or so. What I also like to do when it comes to motherboards is like look for a generation back or so. So like the motherboard I'm using right now, let me pull it up here. Oh wow, the price on this has went up. This is what I'm using right now. The X670 Ace. When I got it on sale a couple months ago, it was like $370. The only reason I went for like a high-end board like that was I needed the onboard 10 gig LAN. And I like but the other thing that matters with the motherboards is the way that the PCIe lanes are distributed. Corolla less effective on a plasma build? No, the Corolla setup, the trait and console off the Corolla will do fine with literally any damage type. You do not have to be on phaser for them to do good. Can I survive Jupiter Gauntlet Elite? With which build? Okay, public queue for ISC. You have a better chance of finding a regular job in Night City? Oh no. Rachel, how's it going? That's true, Hyper. Just wish that they'd update the visuals to the current pulse. You can buy the Crawler with an unrestricted coupon, but the restricted event campaign ones cannot get it right now. Indeed, Hyper. No, the Corolla is C-Store. The Corolla is 3,000 Zen.
The situation is grim.
How can you tell if a coupon is restricted? If you can't use it on newer ships. Basically, if it's a coupon from the event campaign, it's going to be restricted. If it's one that you got from a bundle or that you bought off another player, it won't be restricted.
Resistance is futile.
Scanning the nanite trench. Done. Additional data is available. The nanite probe will repair the transporters. Stop them. The probe is closing in on a transporter. Destroy it.
From this time forward, your culture will adapt to service ours.
There we go. Is there a way to keep your beams in overload? You mean to keep like beam overload up all the time? Yeah, there's a trait for that off these Indie Adolith.
Has been destroyed.
Super Weapon Ingenuity, I believe it is.
Starbase are still being disrupted.
Yeah, that'll allow for 100% uptime for beam overload. Gaius eventually, yes. Eventually they will unrestrict them. So there we go. I mean, that was 2 mil with the Voth Stronghold in a public queue. Let's take a look at the specific numbers here. The cannons, 500k there. Resonance shock, of course, doing its thing. Look at that micro quantum torpedo. That thing went off there. Quite a bit of damage from that console in this run, over well over 200k. Full broadside, that did 111. On the CSV setups, it still is a really good console. It just doesn't hit as hard as the broadside situations. But yeah, I mean, that was a good run for this. Let's see how it's healing. The Valdor console doing its thing. It's good. The Voth Stronghold is a really good offensive ship. Again, they were talking about it being a designed to be a defensive, like sort of like a tanky platform is what they were basically alluding to on the stream, and that doesn't really line up with the stats that they gave it. It's still a really good ship. You can definitely make it into like a more classical non-command tank if you wanted, but it's not going to be as capable as like a full-on command tank that has suppression barrage on it. Is that a Zen ship? So the Zindi Adolith with your beam overload trait is a Lobi ship, but it is really cheap on the exchange, typically around 200 to 250 million. That means it's basically under $20 worth of EC to acquire. You buy a 20. Are the keys still in here? Yeah. If you were to buy one of these 20 keyring packs and post them up on the market, you'd basically get enough EC to get your Zindi Adolith. Yeah. Yeah, basically so. Hyper. Terrible. Yeah, that single character only, yeah. The Zindiadolith is a Lobi ship, which means single character. Yeah, it's a good looking ship. Yeah. I mean, I like the intel. The intel makes this a better ship for like doing damage. And if it would have had command, that would have made the ship much weaker because then you would have been forced to have dropped the lieutenant commander attack ability to run a suppression barrage 1, concentrate firepower 3. Like the way it's set up is better for making the ship more appealing. If they wanted to make it a full-on tank, this should have been command and not barrack worker. Darthon, yes. The Echelon console is legitimately really good, especially for support builds. The Phaser Lance is still fine. I don't really use it anymore because we're able to keep the universal designs trait from the crossfield refit up so effectively with other consoles nowadays. The Phaser Lance console, if you're looking for that visual, it still does really well, especially on a phaser setup, but performance wise, like, I'm not running it because I've just got other universal consoles that are able to do more damage nowadays. When do I think the next Muds bundle will drop? If you look at the past couple of years, there's been a new Muds bundle in October. The Crossfield refit, yeah, the Crossfield refit is going to come with the Universal Designs Starship trait. That provides up to 10% crit chance and 50% severity. You just have to be activating Universal consoles enough in order to build those stacks up. Yeah, no problem. Indeed, Steel. Okay, let's go into how long for high? 58 seconds. Yeah, Darthon, that. I mean, I think the Merrick Worker Intel, like giving that to a free event ship, though, that's good. Is the event ship trait underperforming? The trade off of the Voth? Yeah, I mean, right now it sucks. So the Eclepius engine, they're already acknowledging that they need to talk about it internally and potentially adjust it. Right now, in my opinion, the Eclepius engine starship trait that the Voth Stronghold comes with, it's really bad. Like, right now, I would say that that is probably one of the worst traits that we have in the game. It basically, it takes some of your incoming the very first whole heal that you hit. It will then take that, store that value for 10 seconds, and whoever attacks you next within that 10 seconds is going to receive whatever that heal was as damage. So, let's say you hit brace for impact. That's healing you for like a couple hundred hit points. That would be then distributed to the target attacking you. Not as bad as the Deuter stat trait. Yeah, I guess that's true. But it is definitely a very weak trait. I'm curious to see how they adjust it. Part of the issue is a lot of our healing nowadays comes from hull regen. I live next to a park, so there's a lot of people that drive by with really loud cars. I apologize if that comes through the microphone. But yeah, I mean, it just, the fact that this is only working with like raw hit point heals and it's only taking the very first heal just makes it extremely weak. Yes, the likes are appreciated. Yeah, I think that would need to be discussed further by the community to help them understand what's going on there. Which basically is the fact that the Deuter stat trait, active EPS management. The idea here is when your current power average is below average power setting, you get EPS to recover your power faster. And while current power average is above average power setting, it will then nuke your EPS rating. EPS is good. I mean, there used to be a running joke, EPS is DPS. And you can see my power transfer rate here is 276%. So let me save my loadout. Now, if I were to go in and take off the trait to slot the Deuter stat trait, again, I'm at 276% EPS. And if I slot this, so active EPS management, I've just cut my power transfer rate in half. And like power transfer rate, it's good to have a high value there because that's helping you, move power between subsystems. So with it nuking your EPS rating, it is causing your weapons to take more after your weapons fire. It is taking your weapons power longer to regenerate back up to the prior value. So you're not able to recover your power as fast with this trait slotted, therefore making it a damage loss. It just is a really poor design. Like it's a bit of a joke. And recover from power drains. I hear an Iowa dude in my car noise stream. Oh no. Yeah, hopefully it's not too much car noise. The weather here is good. I've got both windows behind the monitors opened up, and I got fans in both of them. 64 out right now. Really beautiful weather. Okay, Hive Onslaught Elite public queue. You hear the noise? You were wondering what that was? So you can hear the fans when I talk? And recover power gen. Yeah, 64 Fahrenheit. Oh, 64 is perfect. Because I need the air from outside, which is a great temperature, to flow into the room, which is a bit warm due to the pile of computers that I have running beside me. There we go. She dropped fast. Phil, terrible. 674k up to 1.6 almost due to Hellbore. Let's pull up CLA. Let's see what that does. Terrible, Phil. Bringing in that Hellbore. Let's see your outgoing damage, Phil. Hellbore Drain, 673k. Hellbore Ignition, 240k. There's nothing wrong with that. But I thought the water cooling cooled off your room also. No. Yeah, plasma is the meta right now, but when it comes to water cooling for computers, that is more effectively cooling the parts, but I mean the heat is still being output somewhere, you know? Indeed, Bridger. Yeah, we are going to nuke any Hellbore parses from the table when they fix it. Need to put the radiator outside? I know. I would love to get like a Mora and be able to do that, but that's not feasible with my current situation. I've seen the whole room water cooling from Linus. Yeah, Tank Tive and the legendary bug ship, yeah. I mean, with how the meta is right now, yeah, you can solo Hive in a little escort. Um like a year or two back, I even did a solo Hive with the Terran Eagle. Yeah, the ducting idea, I've thought about that, but that's also not really super feasible right now with my current setup. I know you are, Warp Core. I've got enough radiators lying around that I could make a Mora without, you know, having a Mora, which is pretty sad. Orange chicken cooled PC when? I don't know. I don't know on that one. Okay, what else do I have here? I need to complete Romulan space patrols. Let me do that. Let's take the Trafalgar in. Take the Trafalgar into some patrols here to get my dailies done. Yeah, I would love to see them remove that multiplayer Be Alive requirement from Hive. That'd make it a bit easier to do solo runs. I'm gonna slop Boimler back on for now. Terrible Sora. Yeah, time to go get the endeavors done. If you're looking to parse, yeah, you just start combat log, do the combat log one before you enter combat, and you can leave it on the rest of the time. You don't have to turn the combat log off like in between fights. I see some people do that, and that's just not needed at all. Not needed at all, unless you just don't want to waste, you know, storage space. Hyper, I don't know. I pre-ordered that and was very sad. It never happened. Yeah, and people also set up keybinds just to make it easier. I think I talked about that in my combat log like setup guide like a year or two back. There's one patrol. So the universal endeavor right now is to do some of these Romulan space patrols, and I gotta remember I need to harvest materials as well. What was that orange-red lighting? I don't know. I guess crossplay is a dream. Yeah, I mean, crossplay would be very beneficial to the console versions of the game. Even on PC, like I see the wait times at some parts of the day for TFOs can be several minutes. For instance, I was taking the Trafalgar into some public queue infected and hive runs last night, and I had to wait like 7 minutes for an infected elite to pop, which is just a very surprising thing to see in STO. Let's see here. You know what I want to do? I want to take in the Voth ship. And take the Voth ship into Starbase 234. Actually, no, I've got a CSV loadout on this. Let's do the CSV on this and see how it goes. Yeah, Hellbort in solo ISC doesn't really do much. It's Hive where it just obliterates everything. Might have been the Agony field or Agony redistributor. Always a possibility. Yeah, because like Agony does have that style of effect. Go, that's 2 done. John, I really don't know for that one. I don't know if shield drains are gonna work there. The crossplay wouldn't work for PvP. No, that'd be really bad for console PvP players because the console interface doesn't show you what buffs that you have active, and like the amount of control that you have with your ship on PC, um, it's just next level to what console offers. So that would not be a very fun situation for console players. Let's do the last one here at the Voth Stronghold. So Argala Elite will get most ships up to max mastery in one go. Aside from that, like an advanced ninth rule, was it search and rescue, rescue and search? That'll do it as well. Crossplay would have to require standardization of console control interfaces to PC. Yeah, I mean, consoles support keyboard and mouse. It's just the games have to allow it. And Stow over there does not work with a keyboard and mouse. Is the console any use off the Voth ship? It's a revive console. You can only use it when you actually die. Would it ever go on a best in slot like a meta tank build? No, because it's only usable for like after you die. So if you're on a high end tank build, the Voth console's only bringing you back if you failed, like if you have been killed. You know, it's purely a revive console. I appreciate it, Joan Sage. Yeah, the real merch sale I talked about yesterday, that's live now too for anyone interested. So the competitive reputation TFOs are not part of the random TFO system. Because they are 10-player TFOs, they don't work with that. So like you're not finding anyone through the random system, which really limits the pool of players going into that content. And it's just generally that people don't really enjoy the competitive TFOs. Now, when it comes to the competitive TFOs, binary circuit elite on ground is actually super easy. Like that is what you should do if you're looking to farm the competitive reputation stuff. But like nobody queues for it. Everyone gets scared of it. Oh yeah, Sora, thank you for the keys. I completely forgot from before. Let me go gamble. Thank you, Sora. Let's see, what character am I using here? Thank you, thank you. Alan, how's it going? It's gamble time. We're gonna do Infinity because I want to get a T6 box. Bridger, thank you for the 5 gifted. I greatly appreciate it. Oh, my current map has a bunch of people. I'm going to swap instance. Time for some casual gambling? I know. Sora, thank you for the gambling. I appreciate it. Wouldn't it be nice to get a new recruit, maybe Terran, along with the new rep and Admiralty branch? I would love to see um, like a new reputation, new specializations added in. I don't think a new faction is on the table. I truthfully, I know people would love to see at least some of you would like to see a Terran faction, but I would much rather see them focus on just making more content rather than another faction that's just going to be, like 6 unique missions and then playing through the same content as everyone else. Like that takes an enormous amount of time on their part to do. And I would much rather see that time allocated to endgame content that everyone could, go in and play. Or like some significant additions like a new reputation, new specializations. Like that to me would be a much better use of their time than making a new faction. I think, we're 15 years into this game. We do need more content. A lot of you leave comments. Whenever I talk about a new ship, people are like, I'm tired of just getting new ships. I want some new content to use the ships in. And that's a fair point, and I think that is something that I'd much rather see them go in and work towards, providing us new content rather than just a new faction that's going to have, just like a couple of unique missions and then it plays the same as everyone else. Don't need another Fed version, yeah. Um, Fix the old specializations first, yeah. Make them better, absolutely. Is combat log analyzer, can you see what trait was used in combat? So CLA is just a parser that will let you see all the damage sources from that specific run. So if there's a trait that does damage, you would be able to see it on the parser or on any of the parsers. We need more Borg TFOs for Spencer. Yes. Some TFOs that require you actually working together would be nice. They've done that, and people don't like them. For instance, look at the most recent ground TFO. Like, that, there was a lot of people that got frustrated with that because it needed coordination. Yeah, Mara, I've been feeling the same way. Let's see here. Yeah, like there are TFOs that require coordination, and like the just general player base hasn't been receiving that well. They're not queues that you see people run that often. Punish AoE. I would love to see some like really big single target fights where we just need, we're at a point where there's so many single targets just scattered around that you can't group them up, that you really would benefit from doing beam overload or rapid fire. I think content like that would be good. But with how they generally design content, like everything's designed around area of effect. Delta, thank you for the resub. Greatly appreciate it. Oh, I haven't done my reskinned ISC now. Oh, am I about to get a boss here? Oh, it's resetting. Well, I got weapon damage beta for space today. Storm coming in. Let me take a look. Really good weather here right now. Looks like clear skies for today. In your area? Yeah. Randomize the types of Borg in the Borg TFOs. You got screwed of your out of your Endeavor pick today. Yeah, it's frustrating when that happens. Gotcha.
Back to your stations. The Voth have returned.
There's my event campaign progress done for today. Yeah, I've talked about that in some recent streams where that would be like just a super easy deal sync. Let us re-roll the Endeavors, like the Endeavor perk points that we're presented with. The Endeavor system in general, just it's like there's so much potential for this to be a really good system for them to use as a deal sync, but they just right now seem completely uninterested in doing so. Like I talked about in the recent news video, like that is a good retention system to them, and I don't really see it the same way. Gravity kills would be my recommendation for a ship that can move fast. Like what playstyle? Like lots of ships can move fast, and even the ships that are slow, you can make them move fast. Aside from the World Razor, what's the best Galaxy class variant? The legendary Galaxy X Dreadnought from the Mirror Universe bundle. It's the trying to sell Galaxy, but that is like legitimately a really, really powerful ship. Hello, thank you for the follow. Preferably a pilot ship. I mean, like all the pilot ships move pretty well, so that's, you know, it's dealer's choice right there. I mean, the recent Okinawa's fine. The Terran Eagle, that's a really good ship. It's also got a built-in battle cloak. Yeah, I think I would just go probably Terran Eagle. Yeah, I think doing some like flash sales for some older, less desirable like lockbox promo ships in the deal store could be cool, but I don't know how interested they are in doing that. Gravity kills, terrible. That's such a fun TFO, Mara. Need to do plasma damage on ground or phaser damage. Oh, rip. Okay. I mean, I could have just went into a Jupiter ground patrol and hit my agony and got the 10k right away, but I'm right here, so might as well just do it here. There we go. Yeah, well, there was a comment before about TFOs that require teamwork, and I think that's what Mara was responding to is just saying gravity kills. Like there are TFOs that require teamwork, and they're absolutely hated by the player base at large, like gravity kills. That's not really that difficult of a TFO. In fact, it can actually be soloed even. Um, but people just absolutely dread going into it. It just people say they want things that require teamwork, and then when they give us content that requires teamwork, people get frustrated. It's an interesting dynamic. How is my meta engineer coming along? You know what, Bridger, that's a great question. So this character is the engineer I'm going to do all the meta stuff on, and I'm gonna make a big commitment here to all of you about this character. I just have to go over to DS9 to do it. Well, the Undine one that you're talking about, the ground one, like if you select the wrong thing, it like fails the TFO. Danny, I don't really play ground that much. I'd recommend you join the builds Discord. There's an entire ground section over there that might be able to give you some help or some ideas. Um, I know that there's other folks working on some updated ground stuff right now, but I think for right this very moment, like looking at the builds Discord would be your best bet. Um, I mean it's got an okay ground setup on it right now, other than the shield and med gens, which is just for Nukara endeavors, but like the setup on this character is fine. Wow, it has like no ship slots. That was rough. So this character now has a D7 Merrick Worker Flight Deck Carrier because I bought that Muds bundle. And it's about to get something else. So I've got a couple Yod thoughts here. The other one's going over to SOB, so in total I'll have 4 Yod thoughts on my account. But this Yod thought is going to this engineer. How did that feel? I mean, honestly, I was just more waiting to see what the reaction would be in chat tonight. I like it. Ed, no. Cheops, I traded a Trafalgar for the Odd Thought the other day. Joe and Sage, that's just terrible. Do I have enough Yod Thoughts for the class? No. But that's the third Yod Thought opened, and I have a fourth on a different or in the bank for a different character. Yes, yes. Thank you, Chaps. That huge phaser rifle I had is from the Lobby store, and there is still a Lobby sale. So if you want it, it is the lower decks one from a couple years back. Do I have enough Yod Thoughts for the community now? So the builds are going to be the exact same as on my tack and on my side. It's just a different set of abilities. Darthon. He has Yod thoughts and prayers. Oh no. Yeah, I think that that's part of my issue too. Is like when it comes to the TFOs, like I just don't. I don't find that there's many TFOs that I actually want to go through and replay. Like I get a bit of feedback, and some people are a bit annoyed that I just basically just focus on like the Borg space stuff. It's just I don't really find like some of these other TFOs. Like if you tell me go play a Terran TFO, it's like I'm not really going to have an enjoyable experience. Like I don't enjoy Counterpoint. I don't enjoy Upiter Eratus. Leviathan, that's fine. Temporal, like I don't enjoy Battle of Procyon 5. I sure as hell don't enjoy Days of Doom. Lucari, like they're fine, but yeah. It just there's a lot of TFOs where I just don't enjoy them. Yeah, Phil, the shield offlines do not count as shield DPS. I overheard Mojo on DS9 talking about how much he made flipping Yacht Thoughts. He's got to be rolling in dough. Oh no. Okay, what ship should I take in now? What do you guys want to see? You want to see more Voth CSV action? You want to see some Trafalgar Pulse Phaser Fire at Will? What do you guys want to see? Robert? See you around. Thanks for stopping by. We want to see torpedoes. Spencer has enough echelons to sell. He could afford to buy us all Yod Thoughts. No. No, I do not. I wish. Are there any ships that you like flying that you would normally call bad? Um, that's a good question. Huh. The Lamar? I haven't flown that in a while, but like the Lamar, I was not a fan of how they set it up. But visually, you can make it look like a Sovereign, so it's got that going for it. I mean, I think the Theseus with the new skin that they put on it, I think that looks good too. The old Excelsior was done as a meme. That is just to. So I did a solo ISC with the Fleet Advanced Heavy Cruiser just for the meme aspect. That's all that was for. But it sounds like pulse phasers for the cinematic experience is what people want. Go X2, a Kazon Raider. Do I have any extra pulse phaser beams? I don't really know. Okay. Let's take off the, oh, it's already off. Okay. The trade off this ship is off. I'm going to go into a public queue for ISE. Here we go. It sounds like the Kazon ships are not very popular, so we probably won't see that as a playable ship. Now we wait. I bet with all the inventories you have to manage, terrible. If I'm being fully transparent, I only have like 80 of the echelons, so I do not have enough to buy everyone a odd thought. I've got enough to basically cover any ships that I'd probably want to get in like the next 2 years. That's what that entire echelon situation is basically enabling for me, is the ability to to acquire like any upcoming lockbox promo ships for a while. Yeah, and I know that there's a bunch of people, bunch of people that have like bank fleets full of them. So I hate when I put words together sometimes.
Scanning the nanite transfer. Got it. Additional data is available. The nanite probe can repair the transfer.
Capabilities are unable to withstand us. Lower your shields and await assimilation.
A probe is closing in on a transporter. Destroy it.
Yep. Pulse phaser immersion. Putting words together is called speaking. Yeah. I think it's just a matter of, with the echelon situation,
Confirm that the transwarp conduit is
like that, you know, that was not like,
starbase are still being disrupted.
you know, there have been ship exploits before,
Look for survivors.
and they went through and addressed some of those situations very differently. But this is one where it was like legitimately just a screw up on their end. And I think at the end of the day, because like this wasn't like some infinite resource exploit, like it was, you were still using an infinity lockbox choice box to go in and pick the ship out. It just happened to have been that due to a screw up on their end, it was in the console box rather than the ship box. So I think, given the circumstances, given the fact that it's still consumed boxes that we acquired by opening the lockbox, given the fact it wasn't some, you know, very blatant resource exploit, I think that's why there was no action. They just quickly patched it and moved on, because, you know, that was just a screw up on their part. Whoever was in that ISC was hilarious. What? What, Mara? I would love to play some Prodigy ships. Yeah. The layout of it's not great. The Dauntless 2 is a little bit better. The Dauntless 2, fun fact, has a very broken trait on it that I don't think has been fixed yet. I forget the name of it, but basically the kinetic damage buff from it just keeps on stacking up. Now I want to find it in the list here. I've already went past it. Oh, no, I didn't. It's Vanguard Shield Scraping. So the trade off the Dauntless 2. Um, Torpedo firing modes and exotic bridge officer abilities grant 20% Cat 2 bonus kinetic damage for 30 seconds, plus 25% forward shield capacity for 30 seconds. The kinetic portion of this keeps stacking. So if you are using, say, like feedback pulse, every feedback pulse that reflects out is like plus 20% bonus kinetic damage. Like it just keeps stacking up and it gets really ridiculous. Nice, Mara. But yeah, I mean, it is nice too with the, just going back to the infected run, like running fire at will and like pull in really good numbers. Like, sure, a lot of this is because of the uncon, Vovin, console spam stuff that I'm doing. But if you look at just the top couple of lines here, that's basically the pulse phaser stuff. So, um, and of course the Pavin beam and then agony, but you've got pulse phasers, right there, 373k. The full broadside was at the console off the Corolla, 262k. The trait from the Corolla, broadside beam support, another 246k. The agony redistributor did 244. Pavin 206. Like, it's really crazy how good broadside fire at will setups are right now. Logical, how dare you? I've got a physical copy of the Dauntless 2 sitting next to me, too. But Spencer, fire at will was nerfed into the ground. Oh no. Yeah, it got hit so hard, right? Fire at will's really good now. Of course. How did you do in that one? Just judging by the numbers here, I think we just beat you to the points. I think that's ultimately the issue you ran into there, is Mark the Chief and I were just beating you to the points. Okay. Let's move on to the next. Or actually, there was a request earlier for me to do a Jupiter Gauntlet Elite, so I want to do that. Let's do Jupiter Gauntlet, do it on hard, do it elite, with the pulse phaser, fire at will set up, and just see how it goes. Next, he'll be giving up orange chicken. Terrible. I do really want some orange chicken now. Thank you for mentioning that. Tech, thank you for the follow. Yeah, I'm going to talk about the Fall trait situation in that video as well.
The recent conflict at Jupiter
Oh,
Station
I meant to DQ from the hive.
Near projection station Alpha. Next group incoming. Projector station Beta. Attack.
The Voth are going to kill me, or not the Voth, the Iconians are going to kill me by sub-nuke here. Fire will misfired. The issue with these setups is they rely on the Fire Will or CSV to stay alive, so this run's getting the misfire there, that like immediately killed the run. It's not really a matter of can I stay alive, it's more of a question is, you know, of can I have my abilities activate. You like the thumbnail for the fall? Nice, thank you. Could I provide advice on the best tank ships or maybe top 3? I would say, you know, the Friendship Command Carrier. There was someone on Reddit that posted this recently too, and like some of the advice they got was garbage. I want to pull that up because I gotta wait here for cooldowns. Yeah, what were the ships that they were recommended? Harold Vomp, Sphere Builder Danuus, the Terran Acheron, the Excelsior. Like those are terrible recommendations for tanking. But for like the tank platforms right now, the Friendship is definitely really, really strong. I would say if I was setting up a tank right now, the Friendship Command Flight Deck Carrier would be my go-to because you're getting the 2 bays of Type 7s. You're getting a bunch of goodies with that. Like it just that's a really good platform. I also really like the Styx is a little bit behind nowadays, but the Styx is still like a really good platform. It'd help if I had the wiki up. Let me pull the wiki up. Yeah, so event, campaign, this will be the easiest way for me to pull these up. So yeah, like tank platforms, the Friendship Command Flight Deck Carrier, like that's just a really strong command intel combo. You want to have Commander Command for like a high-end tank so that you can do Suppression Barrage 3. And then you've got the 2 bays, so you can do two bays of Type 7s there. Beyond that, where is it here? I also like the Voth Rampart. Like I personally found that to be a fun ship to use. It's not as effective as the Friendship. The secondary Merc worker seat sort of blows, but it's still a decent platform, decent option. Best C-Store tank. Oof. Let me look at promo here. Is there anything in promo I'd recommend for like tanking right now? Not really. Like there's ships in here you can make tank. Like you could make the Sagan into an effective tank. It's just not going to be as good as like the Friendship. For tanks in the Zen store, I mean the legendary Audi can work. I know some people have used that. The Justiciar, you can make it work. The Typhon, you could make that work if you wanted. Like the big thing is you just want to have command. Commander command's a really big deal for tanking. Yeah, the Presidio's fine. The Brawn, the Brawn is a ship I've recommended before. Like that's a good budget tank option. You see whole shield impulse modifiers. What does that mean? So the hull and shield modifier, that is like, what is your hull capacity, what is your shield capacity going to be? That hull and shield mod is what determines that. The impulse rate, that's just part of how well the ship maneuvers. So the hull modifier is how high is the hull going to be. Shield mod, same for that. Those are just, some of the stats to consider. Yeah, logical. Some of the build advice out there is really bad, and like when you look at just the overall like landscape for build advice, there isn't a ton of good resources out there. Um, I'm not helping too much there myself because like when I do a build on stream, it's generally like really high end focused, and I don't really do like specific build videos that much anymore. I'm going to, um, but they just take a lot of time with the format that I do them in, and they're typically leaning more towards the like ultra high end side of things, which is not very handy for someone just getting into the game. How is the Gagarin? The Gagarin's still fine. It's a decent little ship. The ETM trade on it is still a good budget fire at will extender. But yeah, Stow Better is a really good beginner resource. Most of the people I deal with at like the higher performance levels have a lot of issues with some of their higher end content, and they, Stow Better acknowledges that that's not the part of the game that they focus on. I think Stow Better is a good resource early on, and as you're, figuring out what direction you want to go. But when you're starting to like really get into the specifics of a niche, you're best off to look at places like the builds Discord, where you can talk to people that focus on that niche to learn what works, what doesn't. Yeah. Indeed. Okay. I'm gonna go back into that Jupiter Gauntlet Patrol and see if I can get my fire at will to activate.
The recent conflict in
Enemy ships warping in near projection station Alpha.
The Voth. So I'm going to die to feedback pulse.
Next move incoming. Projector station Beta. Attack. The enemy approaches projector station Gamma. Meet them in battle.
Yeah, the feedback pulse just screws you over. So, or no, it wasn't even feedback here. I just died. Okay. I failed. Feedback death is a noble end. Is interesting to see the mouse and keyboard clicks. Yeah, it'll be helpful when I get like an updated set of my keybinds out in the video, because without understanding my keybinds, it just looks like I'm spamming a bunch of random keys. Like my F key is basically my spam bar for tray 10, then that carries over to tray 1. Tray 1 is also my space bar, and that is where I have like my uncons. My G key is tray 9 for like my big damage buffs. Tray 8 is C. 7 here, the first slot is the like the side mouse button up front. That is for Vovin. The back side mouse button is for Fleet Power. Like, I've just got a bunch of different keybinds going on. Also, I hate that I have to wait so long for cooldowns. Let's try Jupiter Gauntlet normal, because I'm getting slammed on Elite here right now. Isn't the builds Discord run by one of the Stow Better guys? The builds Discord is run by yours truly. Though I'm not super engaged with the day-to-day stuff right now. I've
Station Alpha. We have multiple
let a
signals
lot of things go over to like the mod and admin team recently. I've not been super active. Just been busy. I don't know why these guys are in like the normal difficulty of this, because they have sub-nuke. Like, they just stripped away all my buffs.
enemy approaches. Projector station Gamma. Meet them in battle.
Yeah, these sub-nukes on these guys suck. Pulse phasers look so good, yeah. Does this one want to die? What the hell? There it goes. I mean, that sort of sucked for one of these, because I have run quite a few of these like over the past week, and yeah, that was terrible.
Computer in simulation.
It's like, I wish you could pick a specific enemy for this. That's why why I've not really been super fond of this patrol. Like, it's in theory a good place to test, but I just hate where
Return to your regular
it's very inconsistent as to what enemies you're going against. The mod team is so power hungry, yes. So how is the new ship? Both of the new ships are fine. The Trafalgar in its current state is not something I recommend. I'm curious to see what the developers do with it, but right now, it's basically a $150 version of the Shangri-La Command warship with the ability to run a Gravwell and with a built-in lance. Like, it's a good ship, but I just don't think it's worth the price, especially given the current state of its accessories. As for the Voth ship is legitimately really, really good. The Voth ship is very strong. Let me do a Jupiter patrol with that now. Darth, I would love to see more Maelstroms. I don't feel like they're... I don't know, I just don't feel like that would be something we'd see near term. I'd love to see it. I just don't think it's going to happen right now. Yeah, the Shangri-La is $30. You lose the Gravwell, but you're getting a better set of accessories. Maelstrom energy weapons? Oh boy. Yeah, still build subreddit that yeah. Is the Voth ship better than the Atlantis? I mean, they're both good. Both of those ships are really good. The Atlantis, though, does have the ability to use an experimental weapon, which means hexacannons. Um, they're both really good ships. For the current meta, with the temp intel layout the Atlantis has, if you're doing the uncon Voven stuff, the Atlantis is going to be able to perform a bit better. But if you're not doing that, the Voth here, this is just raw Miracle Worker intel firepower. Those Klingon torps from TMP as a Maelstrom, yeah. Zenkethi and Iconians are hardest in Jupiter Gauntlet.
The recent conflict at Jupiter.
Enemy ships warping in near projection station.
Yeah,
Outpost.
Klingons.
We have multiple hull breaches in our
Containment breach! Evacuating all personnel!
hull is buckling. Picard is dead in space. Incoming. Projector station recon. The enemy approaches projector station depth. Meet them in battle.
I get stuff to go off. I'm gonna die here again. I'm just not having a good day survivability wise, am I?
Glorious battle.
Why is it over? Why did it finish before it was done? That's weird. Carrier from StarCraft?
Computer in simulation. Excellent work. We'll analyze.
Yeah, I mean, it's a good ship.
and use
Do I think they'll stop making new fleet ships and stick with making C-Store ships fleet grade outright? Probably. I think the issue with the fleet ships is that they just confuse people. People, when they're buying like a $30 ship, they assume they've got the ship. They don't, the fleet ship system is just very, very unfriendly to less engaged players. A lot of them just straight up didn't realize that there was a better version of the ship that they could go pick up, and a lot of them, just didn't want to spend the extra resources. What kind of margin would I say the Endeavor system gives a player in terms of DPS? I mean, Kelbeck, it'd be pretty significant because, you're talking about a system, 50% crit severity, 12.5% crit chance, a bunch of resistance, a bunch of Cat 1. Like, it's a pretty substantial boost overall. I don't have, like, a before and after option to present to you, but, it is a pretty significant boost. I guess the only way that I could really test this is if I I would have to drop universal designs, cultural conquest. Like if I drop those two, I'd probably be dropping down a comparable amount. Like the Endeavor system, when you stack up all the buffs it's giving you, that's comparable to running multiple of these really high end traits. Like, it's just an absolutely enormous set of boost. Okay, let's try the Jupiter Gauntlet hard again and see if I can not get slammed.
The recent conflict at Jupiter Station brought up a number of tactical concerns. Today's simulation...
I'm gonna try hard here. Okay, gave me the good one off the bat.
Near projection station Alpha.
Zenkathy. CSV misfire. Thank you, game.
Next movement coming. Projector station Beta. Attack. The enemy approaching projector station Delta. Beat them in battle.
Damn it. I died. I failed. Yeah, I'm getting slammed here, aren't I? The Jupiter Patrol is just slamming me today on this ship. Don't see too many folks use mines. Mines, they suck. You can make mines work fine on like a kinetic boat. Like a lot of the classical torp setups that were run a couple years ago used mines, and they were getting pretty good burst out of them. But like they're just not that amazing. Do I think the Odd Thought console's worth using on the crate for solo ISC? I've tried it, Logical, and I kept... The issue for me is I'm so used to just shutting the enemy's shields offline that I just wasn't really able to get much out of it. Like, I think mines... You can make a mine setup work. Yes, you can make anything work right now. But mines could use with the buff. I'm gonna go into the mirror angle, and I'm gonna slot the Yod Thought console, and just show the issue that I'm having with it. I'll take off the sequential warhead loader, which, I mean, that's a console that does around 100k plus for me, so... let's see here. Shield frequency overload. I'll just slot Valdor back on for this run. Yeah. Okay. Let's make sure I have batteries on. Infected just came off cooldown, so I'll go into a private one. Let's see how it goes. Nice rune. Just use it on the start and end cubes, and don't take the shields offline with Krenim. You know, maybe I just need to replace Krenim here. That's just a crazy thing to say, but I guess that's what I just gotta do to get this to work for me. Use Krenim on left and gate. Disgusting. Yeah, I've got it on my tray for that. Sam, I don't know when console's gonna get it. I'm gonna guess in the next week or so.
The situation.
Here we go.
Resistance is futile.
Scanning the nanite transfer.
CSV misfire. Big batch of rubber band right there.
The nanite probe can repair the transfer. Stop them.
A perfect run. Not perfect. Let's take a look at the numbers there. Nice. Okay, shield frequency overload, 148k, or 149 almost there. Ukes, thank you for the follow. Look at total damage. Yeah, total damage is a little bit higher for sure. Because it's doing that extra bit of shield damage, which I would not previously have gotten because I would have just shut their shields offline. Yeah. I mean, it's something I could get used to. Krenim did quite a bit better in that situation then as well. That's something to play around with a bit more. It's just I need to get used to it. All you need to do now is not misfire. Well, that's easier said than done. Do that again. Okay. Let's see if I can repeat that. Or improve upon it. Upload. Terrible. Terrible chaps. I used both of them. Aux power config, that can go to be a larger buff than magnified firepower, and that's a buff for everything on the build. Magnified firepower, that's only for weapons. Here, let's do this. So let me take Crenum Chronophage off the primary keybind. We'll put that onto my gateway keybind. And then I'll put the shield, the odd dot console, on my tac cube keybind. Oh, what's the name of this thing? Oh, it didn't actually go on. That's why. Inventory full. Okay. Oh, did I? That's my bad. Yeah, that's my bad if I had that on. That's fine. I'm just to not give myself more... Or no, Boimler was already on. Okay. Okay, so this is on my side captain. Numbers are going to be a smidge lower due to that, but I'm going to go into another private and just see if I can get better results out of the thought console. Or ideally just not have cannon scatter volume misfire. I wish the Mir Engel wasn't the only choice. The Arc Rail is a good ship as well for this playstyle. Yeah, where is co-opt on here? Yeah. Why not use the Trafalgar console? I heard it's the new meta. Terrible. Setup on controls. I covered it in a video a while back. If you just want to pause and look at that's what this character has. I don't know if it's what Casual has, though.
The situation is grim.
Okay. Now to hopefully not have more loud bikes go by. No CSV misfire. But not a great opening. I botched that a little bit. I've messed this up. Oh, might have recovered. Okay, good. Random spear left alive. Let's see the numbers. Let's get out of here so I don't take a cooldown. Uh, 2-5. Not as impressive there. I messed up a little bit though. Yeah, not as impressive numbers wise as the run before, but still, I mean, 86k is decent for a console. Now, this is what sucks about the solo runs is, if I want to wait for all of my cooldowns, which some of which I really need here, like QSM and Intel Fleet, it's up to a 5-minute wait between TFOs. And like I can't just swap to a different character. I have to be on this character sitting in space in order for those cooldowns to tick down, which is just really aggravating. I ought to put the camera on the road so I can do contests to see. So you guys can guess which car. Oh no. I don't really want to point the camera out the window and identify where I live. No offense to anyone here. I just don't want to put my address, out there. There's some people that I've met in this game that would probably have random crap sent to my address, like swap me, just stuff like that, and I don't really want to deal with that. It's not a big state, and there's enough identifiable landmarks that it yeah. Look at that Defiant right there. I don't want you knocking on the door randomly at night. We just need to follow the orange chicken deliveries in Des Moines to find you. Wow. Like a flaming poo bag on the front porch. Oh no. Iowa has landmarks? Aw, come on, Casual. All the cool kids are doxing themselves. Knock on the door? No, knock down the door. Am I right? No, Ed. Very terrible. If we're gonna drop by during the day, bring orange chicken? Yeah. Yeah, I mean... That would be different. I bet if you follow the orange chicken, you would just end up in a random storage unit on the edge of town. Oh no. We gonna close the garage doors and refrigerator? I would hope. Hello. We have a lot of ships piled up here. Another mirror angle. Always good to see. Beautiful. This Lavenger or Inquiry? It's the OG. Okay. Cooldown's good enough. I'm going in for another attempt. We're going to see if I can get better results out of the Thought console. USS Orion. Nice. You got the Terran Acheron and the Mirror Warship. Congrats.
The situation is grim.
Yeah, Bridger gifted a few a little bit ago. Thank you again for that, Bridger. Okay, here we go again.
Scanning the nanite transfer.
Disarm your weapons.
Additional things ahead.
Begins. Culture and technology.
A bit of a slower start, but it still worked out. A little bit of lag on the sides. Oop, game. Came off the left a little bit low.
Closing in on the grid. Destroy it.
Am doing really bad here. Did not stop there. What the hell is that? This is a really messy run. Sliding past the cube there, that was unfortunate. I'm not on beams right now. I'm currently using cannons. You ordered some orange chicken in honor? Nice. You know you're actively losing about 500k by using the Discovery version of the angle right? Terrible. How dare you? How has server performance been? You're still getting misfires, you know, in some team situations. I haven't noticed anything super bad today, but it's still possible to get some to encounter some issues. It's a shame Casual's on cooldown, because Casual actually has like a setup for doing solo with beams. Stream Queen. Those cannons shot so fast they look like beams? Yeah. That's the power of Fleet Power Network Array. But you see, so I put a thread up on the Discord the other day, because this here is like what it aggravates me, or one of the things that aggravates me about like doing these solo runs is like you gotta wait so long between attempts. Like if I want to go into a solo run and I want to give it, you know, everything I've got, I really need to have things like Quantum Singularity Manipulator, QSM, Intel Fleet. I need those back up for the next run. But with how STO works, it doesn't reset your ability cooldowns upon entering or exiting a map, which to me is just my exact thoughts on it are not exactly stream safe, but it's stupid. That's the polite way to put it. It's stupid that it works like this. It doesn't, like, other games don't work like this. Like, even if you ignore like the specific issue I run into and my, you know, others that are doing like the min max stuff, like, it would be beneficial to everyone in the game to have access to all of their abilities upon entering a TFO or a patrol. Like, anything that you can do to boost up the average performance of the player base, you know, that's good. Buffing up, you know, or allowing people to have all of their abilities upon entering a TFO, that's a really good thing. And I just wish the game worked like that. And yeah, if you have any other feedback or ideas you ever want to send them, you got to use their Discord. And yeah, if you want to support that idea, you know, give it any of the emotes there. Toss in your own thoughts. If you run into any issues with the game, you know, make sure to post them in there as well. Yeah, jeez. Also, should reset everything when TFO is interrupted by a cutscene, yeah. Um... Go. It's a very busy Discord. Oh, look at that. My cooldowns are ready. I can do another attempt. Will things work? Attempt number 4. Is there any particular reason why skills don't reset upon entering new instances? I don't know. I truly do not know. Logical. Terrible. Yeah, I was flying it earlier in the stream.
What do you wish to know?
You see, this here is like the end game experience for some min-max players is literally just like spamming the same TFOs over and over and just running them. Just seeing if you can get better results. I did not mean to hit both at the same time. Rip. Did I just turn broadside off? Rip. That's unfortunate. Hate that you can turn that off. This is a botched run. I screwed up. I'm also gonna die on this one. See, sometimes I mess up. This is super messy, jeez. I mean, if that wasn't messy, that would have been like the record for a non-tac captain, I think. But yeah, that was super messy. What's the best ship for Merc Worker Intel Secondary? I mean, the Legendary Avenger is really good. Vodwar Juggernaut, the Ariori, like, there's a ton of different really strong options. Josh, I'm glad to provide some entertainment. That run could have been really good. Yeah, this is a science captain. It's my original fed human psi. Uh, Yan, they don't play the game the way that we do. When they're playing, they're quite frequently, just going in testing stuff. Yeah, this is a fed side character. Fast way of getting salvage. I mean, just spamming patrols like Ninth Rule or rescue and search on advanced difficulty, normal or advanced, and just just go in with AoE and just farm the waves that keep coming in. Yeah. Yep. I think I can make the odd thought console work. I need to look at what did it actually do in that run. I mean, yeah, I guess I'm starting to see good results with good results from it. Just timing it differently than the Krenim, using them different spots. It's just something new for me to get used to. I did, Michael. It was Mara and Endeavor were the first to the punch in responding, and that's fine. Like I've already, I've done both of these ships on stream. I built them out, was flying them around day one. I've done the same today. Um, can I put Hellbore on and do a run? I don't really want to do that, Phil. Hellbore, like I've already done runs with Hellbore, and it just doesn't work in Infected. Like the difference, Phil, is like you were saying about it inflating the numbers because it's shield damage. It's not like Hellbore, where Hellbore is just going off and procking a ton, doing things it really shouldn't do. Like this is just a console doing what it's designed to do, which is to strip the shields off the opponent. Like it's just we don't typically have the shield damage because we just shut it off. It's like this console's working as intended. There's nothing wrong with it. It's just a matter of figuring out how to properly time it. I mean, you can look at the attacks here. 12 attacks. If I had Hellbore on there, there would have been a couple thousand attacks with Hellbore. Terrible. Sorry, I'm just looking at something. Yeah. And like for me, it's a boost here because I don't have Valdor on. I'm gonna go back to casual because I think it's been long enough. Does Oscar show separate shield damage from hull damage like SCM did? Yes, it's just over to the right a bit further. Do I have the Hull Effect keyboard yet? No. It's expected to ship out late, like mid to late September. So it's a bit further out. Yeah, the shield damage, the hull damage, it's all split up. It's just you have to scroll over to the right. Okay, is casual off cooldown? I'm gonna go without Baldor. Give this another go. But this still has, like, look at this. I've been on a different character for like the past half hour. I come back to this character and it's still got these abilities on a cooldown. Like, it's ridiculous how this works. Like, I burn. If I'm not streaming and if this is what I'm trying to do is like test stuff or try to do solo runs, I'm burning 80%. 80% of my potential playtime sitting in sector space or sitting in system space just waiting for cooldowns. It's aggravating. What is the perks to Hall Effect keyboard? So like, let me pull it up. I got a little bit of wait time here, so I mean, you can get really cheap Hall Effect keyboards under $100 now. I like QWERTY keys. That's what I've got right now, and they had one up, so that's what I'm going for. But like feature wise with Hall Effect, you're able to have it go down and the key will activate at certain points. You can have it reset earlier on so you don't have to lift the key all the way back up before it can activate again. You can have it do different things depending on how far down you push the key. So for instance, for my F key, you know, I could have it set so hitting it 10% of the way is one trigger of F. Hitting it to 20% down, you know, is another. You know, there's up to 4 different actions you can have on each of the keys. So you can make a single key, you know, do 4 different things. And yeah, there's the faster response time. It's just you're able to go in and really customize things to a level that you couldn't do with like traditional mechanical switches. Yeah, Rappy Snappy is so you can do like strafing stuff in some games a little bit better. You're always going to spike high. When you're looking at the graph, you're always going to spike up really high, and then it's just about trying to maintain as much as you can. Okay, let's see how this goes back on casual. If it isn't banned in the game, you want it, yeah. Some competitive games have banned some of those abilities because of how effective they are. I think I've done that.
The situation is
Like I've done how to make a private TFO. Keyboard's still not going to make you good at Battlefield. I am good at Battlefield so long as I'm not streaming. Well, why did I hit that right there? I just completely bought it out and hit that at the wrong time. Well, rip that. Already botched this run a little bit, but we'll roll with it.
scanning the nanite trench. God, additional data is available. The nanite probes will repair the trench. Stop that.
It just like died off there on that side. It's just taking too long. This could have been a little bit better on my part. I messed up.
Sensors confirm that the transwarp conduit has been destroyed. However, our scans of the starbase are still...
Okay, let's see what the results are here. Yeah, I definitely botched that one a little bit, though. Full broadside, doing its thing, 248k. Shield frequency overload, 167. So yeah, it's just a matter of using it right. Krenim did a little bit worse there, 83. I mean, everything's fine. Yeah, the Hirogen Hunter was never removed from the boxes like we expected it would be. I don't know why. But for whatever reason, it's still in there. Just give me a moment here. Look at how much hull damage it has done. And it's not supposed to do any, right? Oh, it did a little bit of hull damage. But like it's a console meant to strip shields. It's our normal shield off lines don't register as doing shield damage, but this does. The max one hit for shield frequency was 1.66. The max one hit for my cannons was 87 or 88k. Yeah, that's a good point. I don't know why it's doing the whole damage. It's bugged out for the debuff. So this question popping up in chat. Let me see. I think I've got YouTube. Yeah, so a couple years ago I did a video how to set up private TFO or PvP matches. I mean, I is the Gorn Hunter spinning top shipping one of the Muds bundles? No. So let me find this question here again. It's an extension for OBS. Daniel, can someone please make a video of how to play with other people, how to form a group, what PvE content qualifies, missions, patrols, etc. For task force operations and PvP, I've got that in a video. That's how to set up a private TFO or PvP match. If you're talking about like teaming up for a mission, that's just a matter of like right-clicking on the person you want to play with and inviting them to a team, but they have to be on the same faction as you. Like I guess I could understand how some of that would be a little bit confusing because some of the missions you have to share them a certain way, stuff like that. So yeah, that's a good idea. Why to use threatening stance? Because it gives you more hull capacity. Yeah. Chadwick, I really don't know. I haven't paid much attention to the Ethereum ships because they just thus far have not been impressive. But yeah. There'd be a decent run with the the odd thought console. Yeah, gotcha. Yeah, the different factions, all that. Yeah, I understand how that could cause some issues. Let's see, is anything sold on these characters? So I'm looking at the time, I realize this is almost 3 hours on this stream. I'm gonna have to wrap things up here soon. Nice, Darth. Oh, everything's bounced back on this character. I don't know why I hit that. What are 26s going for? 950? Why so low? Yeah, the fleet system doesn't work the way people expect it to. The fleet system is just a glorified shopping mall. Yeah. Mara is early on in the process of that video. Here I got a few Borgdoffs. I may have just a few. Let's see, what are KDF 37s at? There's none on the market. I sold one of these a couple weeks ago for 750. The PvPers love these ones, so. Yeah, you never have enough. Never have enough. Okay, any final things you guys want to ask? Because I'm going to step away from the computer for a little bit, go get some food, stuff like that. Logical, no. I overprice. I overpriced my items. You gotta pay a premium for the premium Borgdoffs. I closed the garage door and locked it earlier. Like, it wasn't the main garage door, it was the, there's an actual, like, door, because this is a detached garage that we have, for this apartment. So it's detached, and there's the main garage door, and then there's a secondary, you know, just normal door on the side of the garage. My sister left that open. The Pavo Omni Captain K-Tainer is what I'd go for personally if you're looking for damage output. Yeah, CJ, the Borgdorf packs have a much lower drop rate than the T6 ship boxes, which is really that is really impressive that it's that bad. Am I gonna go have orange chicken? I might. I think there's still a bag in the freezer. If there is, I'll probably toss that in the air fryer. Oh, we got a bunch more Borgdorfs here. Any word on the 16th bundle? I have heard things about the 16th bundle. Are you ready for it? It's going to have ships in it. The 16th bundle will be a starship bundle. Alan, yeah, normally it would be Gamma, but they're doing KDF again for some reason, so I don't know what's going on. But yeah, they're changing things up. Odds on another C-Store bundle before the end of the year, I'm not... I mean, I would love to see another C-Store bundle, but I don't know if the team is there with their current capacity. I mean, the art team seems to be capable of doing that. I just don't know if, like, the systems team is at that bandwidth level yet. KDF means we're gonna get a KDF ship. I sure hope so. We'll most certainly see another Muds bundle. I expect a Muds bundle here within the next month or so. And like I said in the news video the other day, you know, hopefully we get, you know, something really good in there. One of the more desirable ships, that'd be really great. Your main still needs 27. Your console main has it. Oof. If you open Borg lockboxes, does it hold up the Raider or not? Yeah, it's still like an 8%, 7 or 8% drop rate from the Borg boxes, I believe. Something like that. Like, that's why the Borg lockbox is still really profitable to open, because that's the best way to get the Borg DOF packs. Yeah. In prior years, they did have a bundle in the fall or like towards the winter, but I just don't think that's gonna happen again. Nick, any update on your computer, man? Have they shipped it out yet? Did you actually send them a message yesterday? I'm gonna be honest. I think 145 is overpriced for the Trafalgar. Should the prolonged engagement beam have been an Omni? If it'd been an Omni, we would never have used it because it would have been a set Omni. Do we still have to save loadouts twice to make it work? I mean, it's just generally a good idea. If you want to prevent some frustration later on. Hopefully we get a Dilex fix sooner rather than later. I hope so. I'm not super confident, like near term, but I mean, hopefully long term we see some good work done there. I don't think they'll have anything done in time to resolve the Dilex issues, you know, prior to like Black Friday or the end of year sales. Yeah, Nick has been held captive in the garage until he bought an AMD system. Yeah. Ironically, while Nick is buying an AMD system, like I've bought an Intel system this year. I've got that secondary computer, as I built on stream a couple months ago, that has an Intel 265K. It currently has an Arc A380 in it, but it's about to get a B580 put into it, swapped in. Yeah, it's the delay on the Dilex does suck. It's really shot up too. It was like 14 mil the other day, and now it's 14.4. Should you cook and eat spaghetti now or 20 seconds from now? Now. Yeah, I'm gonna step away from the computer for a bit. So again, thank you to everyone for stopping by today. Hope you enjoyed the premium Borg TFOs. There was Borg TFO after Borg TFO. I'm going to send you guys over to a really casual player on Twitch called Endeavor. Let's see, is Endeavor live on YouTube right now? Because I might be able to send you guys over to him over here as well. Yes, he is. Yeah, let me get this set up here. Edit. Redirect. There it is. Okay. Again, thank you all for stopping by. Raid is out over on Twitch, and on YouTube it should be going off as well. Okay. Thanks for stopping by, and I'll see you guys around.